Hello, dear friend, and welcome to the moment you can allow yourself the peace and relaxation you deserve. Today's story takes us to a lighthouse and the life of its keeper. It's a heartwarming tale of human kindness about the encounter of the main character with a fisherman seeking shelter from the storm. The night lay thick along the broken shore, where rain stitched silver lines from sky to floor. The sea moved slow, a dark and breathing plain, its surface blurred beneath the steady rain. Wind pressed the cliffs with patient, salted force, then slipped away to find another course. Below, the water folded in and out, each wave completing what the last set out. The lighthouse stood where stone met shifting foam, a narrow tower far from town or home. Its lantern turned with measured, careful grace, a steady eye that never left its place. No ship was near, no horn cut through the dark, just rain and water tracing out their mark. The beam swept wide across the open sea, then past the rocks and moved on patiently. Inside, the stairs curved upward, worn and old, their iron rails still damp and edged with cold. A single lamp along the inner wall cast light enough to answer when called. The keeper climbed with unhurried, even tread, his coat drawn close, his cap set on his head. Each step was known, familiar as his breath, a path rehearsed through years of storm and depth. Above, the lens turned softly with a sigh, its glass catching the rain that wandered by. He paused beside the window, wiped the pane, and watched the light move outward once again. Beyond the glass, the ocean did not ask for meaning, comfort, prophecy, or task. It moved because it always had before, and would continue wave by waiting shore. He checked the log, the oil, the steady flame, each motion small, unchanged, and much the same. No rush disturbed the rhythm of his care. The night required attention, not despair. The rain kept time against the tower's skin, a quiet sound that drew the evening in. And as the beam completed one more turn, the keeper felt the calm his work had earned. The lens continued in its patient round, a circle drawn without a start or sound. Its glass caught fragments of the distant rain, then let them slip and gather once again. The clock beside the panel marked the hours, its hands unmoved by wind or sea or showers. Each second felt the same as those before, a measured pace the night had settled for. The tower hummed with workings old and sure, a steady breath of iron set to endure. No signal changed, no warning broke the flow, just light and rain and time moving slow. He moved along the rail the way he knew, a practiced path his hands had traced times two. He checked the housing, felt the steady heat, then stepped away once more with measured feet. He trimmed the wick and watched the flame respond, not bright nor weak, but calm and well aligned. The light accepted what his hands had done, then carried on its turning one by one. He wiped the glass where salt had left its trace, a simple mark the storm had chosen place. The cloth moved slow, the window cleared its skin, and rain resumed its pattern from within. He turned the dial a fraction to the right, then paused to see the balance hold its light. No sound objected, nothing drifted wrong. The system answered with its quiet song. He opened up the ledger, stiff with age, and set his notes upon the waiting page. A time, a check, a mark both neat and small, enough to say the night was held by all. He stood a moment longer than required, not bored, not restless, neither strained nor tired. The work went on because it always had, and in that truth the keeper felt no lack. A distant vessel marked the dark with flame, a single pulse that rose and fell the same. He saw it drift along the outer seam, then fade again beyond the lantern's beam. Another answered, farther down the line, its pattern slow, its timing held in time. No call was made, no answer asked or sent, just light exchanged, then quietly unmeant. The radio released a breath of sound, a fragile hiss that barely formed a round. No voice emerged to shape a word or plea. The silence closed as gently as the sea. He stood and watched the panel's muted glow, its steady lamps unchanged by what they know. The signals came and passed without a trace, and left no mark upon the keeper's face. A horn reached out across the water's span, so worn and low it barely sounded man. It touched the tower once, then slipped away. A thought that came too late to ask to stay. He felt it then, not sorrow, not regret, just something known and never fully met. A sense of lives still moving through the rain, unheld, unnamed, yet somehow not in vain. The beam swept on, impartial, wide and slow. It did not ask what it was meant to know. It crossed their paths, then let them drift apart. A practiced motion learned by tower and heart. In watching signs that never turned his way, he felt no urge to follow or to stay. To tend the space where passing moments lie was work enough beneath the turning sky. The night remained composed of distant calls, of lights that moved beyond remembered walls. And standing there with nothing to resolve, he let the world turn on and felt it solve. He kept his watch the way the night required, not pressed by need, nor secretly inspired. The beam went on, and he allowed it so, content to let its patient turning go. The rain moved down the stone in even lines, untroubled by the passing hours or signs. He did not ask it more than it would give, nor wondered how long such a thing could live. A light appeared, then slipped beyond his sight, and with it went a trace of someone's night. He noted it, then let the moment fall. No more his own than rain upon the wall. He felt no urge to follow where it went, nor hold the shape of what the signal meant. To see, to mark, to leave things as they were, was work enough, familiar, clean and sure. The tower held its warmth in quiet stone, a borrowed heat he never claimed his own. He leaned a moment, then returned to stand. The motion learned, the balance close at hand. No thought insisted, nothing asked for place. The night required attention, not his face. And so he stayed, attentive without strain, as light crossed sea, then crossed the sea again. If something human stirred beneath the sound, it did not rise to seek him where he stood. It passed like weather through the open air, acknowledged once, then left untroubled there. He trusted in the order of the task, in small repeating checks that did not ask for meaning more than what the moment brought. A measured calm that never needed thought. The night went on, complete without demand, and he remained exactly where he planned. Not lonely, not fulfilled, but simply so. A steady light that let the darkness go. He closed the door against the outer sound and let the tower's echo settle down. The room received him quietly and plain. A smaller world held fast against the rain. A single lamp was lit beside the chair, its circle drawn with careful, modest care. The shadows eased along the stone and wood, and everything stood just where it should. He set his coat upon the waiting hook, its fabric dark with salt the storm had took. The boots were placed beside the narrow wall, their weight released, no burden left at all. The kettle filled, he set it on the flame, the motion slow, unchanged, and much the same. Its quiet warming gave a gentle sound, a trusted note the night had gathered round. He moved the chair a fraction toward the heat, then rested there with hands across his knees. The room did not require him to speak. It held its calm without a word to seek. A window faced the sea beyond the glass, where rain still traced the hours as they passed. The beam went by once more, then slipped away. A presence felt but never asked to stay. He poured the water, watched the steam arise, then lifted up the cup without surprise. The warmth arrived exactly as before, no more than needed, nothing extra stored. The table held a book left face down flat, a place to pause that never minded that. He did not turn a page or seek a line. The moment asked for stillness, not a sign. The room grew softer as the minutes fell. Each sound reduced until it barely dwelled. The rain remained, the kettle's work was done, and nothing else required his attention. He sat and let the quiet take its shape. No thought to hold, no future to escape. The night went on beyond the window's frame, and here inside all things remained the same. He heard the knock beneath the turning light, a sound made small by rain and length of night. It came again, no louder than before, a patient sound against the outer door. The fisherman stood soaked from cap to seam, his coat held dark with rain and salted brine. A woolen hat sat low upon his brow, its edge still dripping from the storm just now. His boots were worn by decks and shifting planks, their leather creased from years of measured ranks. The hems of trousers clung with stubborn wet, each thread a mark of seas he hadn't met. The rain had worked its way into his bones, his shoulders held the weight of nights alone. He stood with care, not cold enough to shake, but glad for shelter more than he would state. No panic lived within the man's request, no tale of loss or danger to confess. The weather turned, the harbour lay behind, and waiting here felt reasonable, kind. He spoke of setting out before the dawn, of nets drawn slow where shallow currents run. The wind had risen sooner than he guessed. The sky had sealed the choice to pause and rest. The engine held, but waves grew sharp and steep. The shoreline lights were harder then to keep. He'd followed markers known from earlier years, and trusted land would meet him somewhere near. The keeper nodded once and turned inside. No questions asked, no judgment to decide. He opened up the door and let the room receive them both from rain and drifting gloom. The quarters held a warmth of modest kind, a lamp, a table, stone and wood aligned. A kettle waited where it always stayed. A chair stood close, the space already made. The fisherman stepped in and shook the rain. His coat released its water to the pane. The keeper took it gently, hung it near, and nothing more was needed to be clear. The kettle warmed, the room began the storm reduced to sound beyond the eaves. No rush disturbed the quiet they both shared. No sense that more than shelter had been spared. The fisherman took seat without a word, accepted heat the way the night preferred. His hands relaxed around the offered cup. The steam rose slow and settled gently up. The keeper felt the order hold once more. A guest received, then folded into shore. To offer space where weather lost its say was work enough to mark the passing day. No thanks were pressed beyond a quiet nod. No bond declared, no meaning drawn too broad. The night would turn, the man would move along, and both would carry on where they belonged. The rain went on, the beam resumed its sweep. The tower kept its watch, the sea its sleep. And in that pause, brief, human, undefined, the keeper stood, content to mind the light. He spoke of days when he was barely grown, when shorelines felt like maps he learned alone. He'd walk the rocks where tide and patience met, and mark the turns the water didn't forget. He learned the coves by how the gulls would turn, by where the kelp would tangle, drift and burn. Each inlet taught him something small and plain. A way the sea would take, then give again. No lesson came from books or careful charts, but from the time he spent in smaller parts. The coast grew known by hours moving slow, by standing still and letting knowledge grow. He mentioned home the way one mentions land, a place that stayed without a firm demand. A table set at hours known before, a door that closed against the evening shore. His father worked with hands that knew their trade. His mother kept the light when storms delayed. No praise was given, none was asked for too. They did the work that days required them to. There were some siblings scattered now by time, their lives like boats that drifted past a line. They spoke when paths allowed, then let it be. No bond less strong for lacking constancy. At night, he said, the stars became his guide, not bright in ways that pulled the heart aside. They held their places, steady, clear, and known. A map the water never worked to own. He'd set his course by patterns overhead, by shapes that stayed when all the clouds had fled. The boat would rock, the nets would ease and strain, and stars would keep their watch through dark and rain. No need to name them, point, or make them grand. They did their work the way the night had planned. By trusting them, he found his way back home. A skill that asked no proof, no polished tone. He spoke of wind that shifts before it turns, of air that warms in ways one slowly learns. A drop in sound, a weight along the sea. Small signs that spoke with quiet honesty. The weather told its stories without rush, in how the waves would gather, pause, then push. He'd learned which storms would break and drift apart, and which would stay and test a steadier heart. These things were not predictions, fixed or sure, just habits that the coast had taught him pure. By listening close, by never forcing fate, he found the sense in learning how to wait. When morning came, if skies returned to calm, he'd head back out beneath the lighter balm. The nets would need a look, the lines a check. The boat made ready from its patient deck. No great ambition shaped the coming day. Just work enough to keep him on his way. He'd take what came, then carry it ashore. The same as countless mornings done before. And if the weather asked him still to stay, he'd wait it out and let the hours play. The sea would open when it saw fit to, and he would meet it rested, clear and true.